Yep, that's the tweet picture of the future president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Oh, Canada, he commented here, it's not the first time for Trump to say something like that towards Canada, Greenland, Panama Canal. Even before getting to the White House, those Trump jokes, I think those are not jokes after all, caused massive scandal. Or scandals, it's better to say, because many of the countries involved here. And let's check out what Fox News says about this intervention to Canada.
Canada. At first I wanted it, and I tried to divide it into two states. And then I realized we'd be adding Montana, basically, for the Republicans, and electorally like a Texas for the Democrats. And I don't like that. But the fact that they don't want us to take them over makes me want to invade. I want to quench my imperialist thirst.
And you may say it's some sort of the joke, but I wouldn't agree with that. It's the mass media that spreads this kind of the narrative. And also ultra-rich people like Elon Musk shared their narratives. We know that Justin Trudeau resigned from his position, so there will be a new leader from his party, appointed for the prime minister position for a few months before elections. But nevertheless, Justin Trudeau has the right to tell about his country because he's Canadian after all. There isn't a snowball chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States. Workers and communities in most of the countries benefit from being each other's biggest trading and security partner. You understand that Trudeau's rating is very low, however, this is a nice post from politician. And this is the post from the total Delulu freak. Girl, you're not the governor of Canada anymore, so it doesn't matter what you say. I know maybe someone beat Elon Musk when he was a child, but he becomes more and more aggressive. And you know there are more and more news published about Elon Musk's influence on Donald Trump. People online even start to call Donald Trump, elect United States president, as a co-president, and that the true power goes to Elon Musk. And the fact that Donald Trump has to publicly announce that Elon Musk is not taking the presidency tells a lot, that there is definitely something behind it. So Elon has huge influence on Donald.
And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening.
No, that's not happening. Is it convincing, really? I think that there is something behind, something that we don't have the proofs of, but the fact that after Trump's victory, Elon stayed in Mar-a-Lago, so Trump's residency, for many days. Some media wrote that Trump even got annoyed by Elon, but we don't have the proofs for it yet. What I know 100% that there will be the big conflict between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, because both of those persons, they do have huge ambitions. But in the Trump's team, only Trump should have ambitions. The rest of the people should just glorify him and make his excellence the best of the best. Well, anyways, Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr. Was it a flash mob to call your sons with your own names? Well, still, it's much better compared to Elon calling his kids strange names. I mean, really strange. Well, anyways, Trump's son attended Greenland, a possible future hostile territory of the war zone between the United States and Denmark. Why am I saying so? Well, because Donald Trump says that he doesn't rule out the military action to get Greenland under control. Same he said also for Panama Canal, but for Canada, Trump said that he doesn't want to use any sort of the military force. It will be economic force, like maybe applying some of the crazy tariffs on Canada, but Canada has something to respond. I'll tell you what later in this video, but it was already announced by the Canadian Conservative Party. Well, anyways, it was the PR visit of Trump's son to Greenland. They were happy, make Greenland great again, or MAGA for Greenland, or something like that. By the way, I watched some of the videos of the Trump's son from the cockpit of Boeing 757. They call it Trump Force One. Well, the video is definitely good, however, it violates two of the FAA regulations. You cannot film inside the cockpit below 10,000 feet. And the second thing, you cannot intervene into the pilot's operations below 10,000 feet. So with your comments, deflecting the attention of the flight crew, you cannot do it. The door should be closed below 10,000 feet. It's the sterile cockpit philosophy or regulations in this case, if we speak about FAA. And yes, it applies also for the private corporate flights, as Donald Trump Force One. But those guys, they don't give about everything happening. They're now the kings. They have their own president, they have their own government, all of the majority. But there is one saying, the higher you fly, the more pain you'll get if you go down. And in our lives, everything is not forever. So Donald Trump is not forever there too.
Yeah, I can't assure you, you're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two.
He's even ramped up threats to Denmark, warning Copenhagen against not complying with Washington's bid to purchase the island.
If Denmark wants to get to a conclusion, but nobody knows if they even have any right, title, or interest. The people are going to probably vote for independence or to come into the United States. But if they did do that, then I would tariff Denmark at a very high level.
So it's the classical blackmail from the American Tsar. So why does Donald Trump is so interested into annexation? Yes, it's the annexation of Canada and Greenland, Denmark. Well, you can see the map here, the projection of the Arctic region. The region, which is unlike Antarctica, could be easily reached by transport, especially during the summertime, that there is no ice in the Northern Pole, or just limited amount of ice, let's say, but there is always ice in Greenland. However, because of the greenhouse effect, that ice melts every year, which opens some new opportunities to mine gold and other very precious resources. And we're also speaking about the Arctic oil. Yes, it's difficult to drill it there, but again, with new technologies, there will be many more opportunities. And you see that the United States actually has not that much portion of the Arctic region. Yeah, just the part of the Alaska into it. The vast part belongs to Russia, Norway also. But if the United States would just annex the neighboring countries, they would have the large piece of the pie. This area is so precious that some of the experts say that the future wars might start from it. And by the way, China, it's kind of far away, but they want to influence Arctic region via Russia, and some say via Greenland, but there are no proofs for it. Well, even though Greenland is such a big territory, the largest island in the world, still there are not more than 60,000 people living there. And now the United States officials want them to vote for some sort of the independence. Well, actually, guys, the situation reflects maybe the attitude of the Russian government towards its neighbors, like, for example, Ukraine, and remember the annexation of Crimea. Exactly as Greenland to Denmark, Crimea for Ukraine was the autonomous region, but Putin put his own special forces, and first of all, Crimea voted for its so-called independence, and only after that they voted for being annexed by Russia. So the same stuff Donald Trump wants to achieve in Greenland. Absolutely same. Well, he said that he would try to buy the piece of the Denmark, but Denmark already said no. Moreover, Denmark will invest into the defense of the island. And we are speaking about roughly 1.5 billion United States dollars extra for the Denmark defense. And I don't know actually who likes this situation. Then there are so many autocracies are still in the world, like Russia, China, North Korea, Iran. They create the big axis against Western democracies. And here, because of these stupid jokes, as some say, allies are start to be concerned about the behavior of the United States of America, imperialistic behavior, and the willing to annex territories. It shouldn't be a joke, after what is happening in Ukraine, it absolutely shouldn't be. And people voted for Donald Trump also because Donald Trump promised them that the internal policy of the United States will be #1 priority. But here, before getting to the office, he said that he wants to annex at least 3 of the countries. Yes, he is not yet in the office, but his rhetoric is strange. Alright, but what's about the Panama Canal, which belongs nowadays to Panama? Well, if we go a little to the history, first it was the idea of France to build this canal, and they had started the construction works, but because of the lack of the resources, they gave up this project. It was the end of the 19th century, then Panama wasn't Panama at all, it was the part of Colombia. So France agreed the construction works with Colombian government, but later on, then France gave up this project, the United States of America started to be very interested in continuing it and finally built the Panama Canal. So why this canal is so important? Well, it allows goods to go between two of the Americans. For example, if you want to deliver something by sea from California, you don't need to go to the bottom of the South American. And by the way, the waters there are stormy most of the time of the year. So you can easily go here and deliver your goods to Europe, and Europe also may deliver goods to California. So the scheme is perfect for every sort of the trade. The same stuff also goes for Suez Canal in Egypt. And now from Europe you can go to China very easily, you don't need to cross all of the Africa. And after France decided to abandon this construction of the Panama Canal, Colombia rejected the proposal of the United States to continue building. And that's why in the beginning of the 20th century, in 1903, United States organized and helped Panama people to obtain their independence. Yes, United States supported the rebels and they fought against Colombia. So Panama actually became Panama because of the mainly support of the United States. And the only interest for United States to support the rebels was to get the control over the Panama Canal, to finish it, to open it, and to use it in favor of the United States. For this reason, the United States finished the construction of canal. It became their colonized property and some of the land around. And it was like that until 1979. Then this colonized territory ceased to exist. And canal itself was returned to Panamanians on December 31st, 1999, so 25 years ago. So officially it is now a territory of Panama, sovereign territory, together with canal itself. However, Donald Trump now says that China controls Panama Canal, they deployed their military, something like that. However, after Donald Trump posted his remarks about canal and China involvement, officials of Panama denied all of the allegations of the Chinese control over canal, so they're not speaking about any sort of the military presence of China there. And on this fact-check website we have the full statement definitely from Donald Trump. So China controls 2 from the 5 ports near Panama Canal. So why does the China companies manage 2 of the ports? Because they invested into its infrastructure. They build those ports. The Panama Canal Authority has maintained full control of the canal since 1999. Then the Panama regained sovereignty over waterways. So if we speak about Panama Canal itself, it is not controlled by China. No, China has management of 2 of the ports near Panama Canal, not the canal itself. They do it because they supply many of the goods to the United States, and to make it cheaper, faster, they need those 2 ports. No politics, business as usual. I would like, for example, United States to have their own ports, but you know, United States mostly consume products which are made in China, and that's how they sponsor the Chinese economy. And by the way, if you visit some of the Trump's merch shop, you'll see those kind of the stickers. Still, for the businessmen and global markets, it's easy to buy something ready to go made in China. They produce stuff absolutely massively, and the biggest country where they sell all of that stuff is the United States of America. Oh, you may say, Dennis, it's the old merch from 2016. Let me show you a new one. Yeah, I know, maybe you don't like this guy. I actually don't know his name, but he is liberal, he is from the Democratic side. But anyways, he went to the Trump shop and he showed everything.
Of not having any of his merchandise made in the United States of America. To disprove that, I'm going to go to his own merchandise store in Trump Tower to show you how much is made in the USA.
Trump socks. Oh my God, what? Made in, oh, not the USA. Huh, interesting. Made in China. Okay. Not all of Trump's merchandise is made in China. I mean, like this, for instance. This is made in... Oh, nope, that's made in China. Oh, okay, you know what, never mind. This would be made in, not made of... okay,
Alright, so everything made in China, like most of the things which he showed. So on one hand, China is like evil country for Donald Trump and his propaganda, but on the other hand, he pays China directly for the merch he sells to Americans for the much higher price. And you tell me that he's a true patriot. Yeah, guys, unfortunately it's all propaganda, it's all brainwashing. Before it was TV, now it's the X platform, ex-Twitter, which is used by MAGA, Elon Musk, Donald Trump to propose and propel their ideas. So it's kind of interesting of what awaits us the next 4 years if the start is that harsh. And you know that the thing is that the United States of America influence not just itself but the world around. And this time even creating some sort of the confrontation. And again between allies, this time then Russia attacks Ukraine and North Korea is deployed in Europe. It's basically the worst thing possible which you might do as the democratic leader or the leader of the democratic country, it's better to say. And I just hope that there will be no big major war. Before I was worried just about Russia and their ambitions, also maybe China. But now I start to worry about the government of the United States because they copy the Russian propaganda narratives, imperialism. I understand that the United States should keep its leading role in the world, but by using different methods. Make America great again is not equal to punish your neighbors occupying their territories. No, it will not work. It will destroy democratic society. Well, maybe it's the main aim of the global corporations. Maybe it's their goal. We'll see. Here I share some of the conspiracy theories. Don't put attention on that. And about the possible response of Canada towards tariffs applied on their goods, well, Trudeau before said that Canada could cut US energy supplies in relation for Trump's tariffs. Yeah, Trudeau decided to resign, but it's the collective thought of the Canadian government, not just Trudeau. If you apply tariffs, they're gonna cut you off. And it will create huge tensions between Canada and the United States. And honestly guys, it will not bring any sort of the good things to United States itself if Trump will start to apply tariffs left and right. It will just skyrocket the prices in the United States. It will shrink the United States economy. Every sort of the expert in economy knows that. But here guys, we have one more theory of why Donald Trump jokes about annexing the country. Jokes. I don't think he jokes, he says it openly. Well, the thing is that he cannot put his promises into life. He promised to stop the war in Ukraine even before getting to the office in 24 hours. Now he says that he hopes to stop the war in 6 months. What changed? First of all, he now hopes, and 24 hours turned to half a year. And same will go to any sort of the question, lower taxes, lower prices, slowing down inflation. He will fail with most of his promises. And now his strategy to create this huge news bubble for people to speak about Greenland, Canada, Panama Canal. So then Donald Trump gets into the office, he will stop saying that bullshit, and people would say, oh, Donald Trump actually has some brain. He now thinks differently. We should be grateful for it, that our American Tsar is not a dictator after all. So I think that there is the great probability for it to be just a huge media hoax. Well, we'll see. Anyways, the world is getting stranger and stranger. So guys, it's all what I want to say today. Ciao.